Hello and welcome to Backpaddock. Today we're going to look at how to do mapping in the system. So where I'm going to start my work is in Web App. Now there are there's 3 different places that you can see maps when you're working with the Advisor and Manager suite. And that's in Web App, in the Backpaddock mobile app, and also in the Advisor or Manager program if you have mapping enabled. If you want to create new or edit existing maps, I believe the easiest way for you to do that is this process I'll show you now, which is starting with Web App. So what I'm looking at here is a client file that I've got opened called Billo. I'm at the website webapp.backpaddock.com.au and I've logged in with my email address and my password. So one of the changes that I want to make to this file today is I'm going to draw one new paddock that doesn't exist in this file yet at all, and I'm also going to edit a boundary. Now, in order to do this, I'm making sure that my client file is closed in the Advisor Manager program. I do not want it open, and I've also made sure that the client file is closed in my Backpaddock mobile app. So for me, that means I'm on the home screen of my Backpaddock mobile app. All right, so I'm going to draw a new paddock here, which is going to be this large triangle. So to do that, I'm going to select my farm. So this will be a part of my Turner farm. I'm going to my drawing tools on the left-hand side, and I'm clicking on this draw boundary option. First, I might just change my zoom a bit there. I'm going to click on my draw boundary pencil, and you can see my cursor becomes a blue dot. So if I start way down here, I'm going to single click in a clockwise direction for all of the points that I want to make. So I'm just going to go straight across here and go here a bit, cut in a little bit. Now you can zoom in for a more accurate map, and we'll click at the end there to complete the shape. So I'm going to leave it as Dusty Farm. Actually, I'll select Turner Farm, and I'm going to click on Save to Paddock, and I'm going to add new paddock. So this one I'm going to call T7 and click on Save. That's going to save my new paddock down the bottom here. So I can see here my T7 paddock has 149.75 hectares, and that has been mapped. So I'll also look at editing an existing map. So it would just be in this same place here. So what I might do is I might make this T6 boundary a little bit lower. So I'm going to click on this T6 paddock. I'm going to go to my edit tool, which is this shape here, which gives me my dots again. And this time I'm going to drag this boundary down here, move that around. I'm going to incorporate this house here, I think. So I'm just dragging points along this blue line to create my new boundary. And then I'm happy with that, so I'm going to click on Save. Now at the moment, this is showing us 31.53 hectares. Let that save. Now you see that my area hasn't changed. We don't want it to automatically change in case you did want to keep that one. But if I click in that cell now in that paddock and click on this hectares option, that will recalculate my area based on the new polygon shape. Okay, so I've now added a new paddock and map, and I've edited an existing boundary. So if I want to make this available on Backpaddock Mobile, all I would need to do is wait 5 minutes, get out of this file. So select another file from the top left corner there, for example, wait 5 minutes and then retrieve it on Backpaddock Mobile, which I'll show you momentarily. If I did also want to see this on Advisor, on the Advisor Manager software, what I would need to do is go into the file, click on the big plus sign in the bottom right corner, click on Import Export, click on BPAM, and click Export Maps to BPAM. So that's going to take these updates that I've made, including the new boundary and the edited boundary. There we go, BPAM export done. And that's going to send those across to your client file in the mapping language that the Advisor Manager program understands. So let me pause this for a second, and then I'm going to pull up my Backpaddock mobile app. Okay, so as we can see, I've got my Backpaddock mobile app here on the home screen, as I mentioned before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on farm management. I can see here that my Billo file has an update available. So I'm going to touch on Billo and touch done in the top right corner. and allow that to sync. There we go. So I'm going to touch on my Turner farm to start off with, and I can see one thing. I can see that I've got my new T7 paddock exists with the same hectares. So that's one thing that's been done. I'm going to touch on the map tab along the top. All right, so I can see that the two things that I wanted have been done here. So my T7 paddock has been created and mapped in my Back Paddock Mobile, and my T6 paddock now includes that little home block down the bottom there. So those are the two things that I wanted to be done, have been updated across to Back Paddock Mobile. So let me pause again and throw up Advisor Manager. Okay, so opening up Advisor here. So if I just refresh this file list, that'll just give me the latest information. Notice I am not in a client file at the moment. And now I can see with my Billo file that I've got updates available. So let's open that up and see what's there. So while that's happening, I'm just going to close out of my file on Back Paddock Mobile by just touching on I'll show you while that's going. Touch on the burger menu in the top left. And then I'm just going to touch back to home, which is going to take me back to home. Okay, so in my advisor client file, I can see the T7 paddock is visible. If I go to mapping, now remember I said this is not enabled by default anymore. So if you don't see the mapping tab, that's fine. And there's my new paddock, T7, and you can see my T6 has the additional section down the bottom. So I have successfully edited a map, down here, edited T6, added T7 in web app, and I've synced that across to Back Paddock Mobile and the Advisor product. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.